Hey guys, I'm here with another part, and I'm doing this before I go to sleep. So let's do this. We left off. I'm trying to find it here. All right. Scene break. Hyuga had a plan. He had a plan since he saw Naruto in the finals. He may come off cold and uncaring to his eldest daughter, Hinata, but he cared for her greatly since Hinata reminded him of his wife, Hinata's mother, in so many ways. He knew the plan of his very own council. They planned to pull the cursed bird seal on Hinata since the council thought she was too weak to be the clan head. Hiroshi wants to remove this move, and there was one way to do that. He needed to talk to the Uzukage though. Lady Celine, she said. Yes, Lord Hyuga, Celine said. I would like to talk to you if I could, Hiroshi said. Very well, Celine said. She and Hiroshi left with Zabuza and a crow following Celine. This left Naruto's team. Well, what should we do now? Naruto asked. Not sure. The original plan was to leave after getting this settled, but that's out of the window, Ryo said. Let's just wander around, Mika said. Sounds good, Naruto said. So, the three walked around the village, watching and getting rebelled at their invasion. So Naruto, as wounds healed, Mika asked. Yeah, they have, Naruto said with a nod. Mika was so happy that Naruto's wounds that this village has caused Naruto had healed. Now Naruto can truly move on with his life. What are you doing here? Naruto's team turned to the pink-haired girl, Sakura. We're here still since Lady Celine is still here, Ryo said. You heard Sasuke. Sakura's speech pounding at Naruto. I only heard him because he was trying to kill me. What do you expect me to do? Just let him kill me? Naruto asked. Sakura was quite angry. After hearing now Sasuke was hurt, she wasn't about to take it and she pulled out a kunai to charge at Naruto, but before she could even get close to him, she was napped. Her own kunai was pointed at her throat as her other arm was pulled behind her back painfully. Not smart move, girly, Yofi grunted. Yofi, you're still here? Naruto said. Yup, I want to spend more time with my new best friend Inko, Yofi said. Hey, you left me with a tab, Inko said as she appeared. Sorry, but Naruto was in trouble, and as a member of the Kuzengai clan, I was sworn to protect him and the Uzumaki clan from any danger, Yofi said. She's nothing, Aunt Yofi. Just a fangirl, Yofi said. Still real. Never let your guard down. It could be just a views, Yofi said. I know, Aunt Yofi, but she really is a fangirl, Ryo said. Huh? That explains how it was easy to take her down. No real Konaichi would be this weak, Yofi said as she released Sakura. Sakura glared at Yofi. You attacked a Konoha shinobi. I'm going to arrest you, she said. I didn't attack you. I just put you in a simple hold any real genin could get of of it. Besides, I did it in protecting of Naruto Uzumaki, who is the nephew of the Lady Selene, the Uzukage of New Whirlpool. As for your harassing me, come on. I had you in hole that any real Koniichi could get out of, Yofi said. Besides, I saw it, and I saw nothing that would put Yofi in the wrong, Inko said. Inko, you left and I had to pay for the food again, Kurenai said as she admired and looked unhappy. Oops, Inko said casually. What's going on here? Kurenai asked. After things were explained to Kurenai, nodded. You could have caused a injured accident, Haruno. I will have to tell your Jonin sensei and the Hokage about this, Kurenai said, glaring at Sakura. But he hurt Sasuke, Sakura went pointing at Naruto. He only did that since Sasuke Uchiha was attacking him without permission. I was there and saw it, Kurenai said. Sakura pouted. Kurenai turned to Naruto's team. Kurenai turned to Naruto's team. I hope this doesn't change your view of Konoha Shinobi. Not all of us is like that, she said. Of course not, Jonin, Naruto said, bowing his head. At the experiment, Naruto, Mika, and Rio walked around some more. Yofi decided to show them just in case more trouble showed. Inko joined it and since seemed like fun. Kurenai went to report in and Sakura walked away shaking. They walked down the streets till they met a familiar face. Hey Rio, Tenten said. Hey Tenten, Rio said smiling. I came to let you know that I talked to my dad and he agreed to move. He and I will be going back to New Whirlpool with you, Tenten said. Yay! Yofi shouted as she emerged and grabbed Tenten in a big hug and swarmed the young girl around. When Tenten was dropped, she was very dizzy. She landed on her bottom holding her head while the other hand had the firm grasp on the ground. Mika got down on the checked on Tenten out. You're right? She asked. I think, but this is the street spinning. Tenten asked as she closed her eyes to help stop the spinning. You'll be fine. Just sit there till the spinning stops, Mika said. Tenten nodded. So you're leaving? Inko pouted. Scene break. Celine was sitting in Hoashi's private office. Itachi and Zabuza were standing guard since that was their duty. What is it you like to talk about, Lord Hyuga? Celine asked. Yes, I wish to offer you a marriage contract between the Hyugas and New Whirlpool, Hoashi said. Or marriage, yeah. I think that says marriage, or yeah. Okay. Itachi and Zabuza looked at each other. Itachi was very cautious as why the Hyuga would want such a thing. He wanted a warm Celine about wanted moves. The Hyugas might have a point in a marriage, proposed a marriage, but he knew his plan and decided to see how Celine played this. I see. And why would you want that? Celine asked, curious of what could be coming up. Hashi sighed tiredly. May I be honest here? He asked. Celine asked. So Hoashi told his tale about the oldest daughter, Hinata, and how his own counsel didn't think Hinata is strong enough due to her gentle nature. He told Celine how He kept a cold spirit around Hinata, so he truly loved his daughter, and it hurt him to decide himself from her. He finally ended with how the Hyuga Council plans and bring Hinata and placing her in the branch family, and how he didn't want that to happen to his daughter. I am asking you to counter this, for not only my sake but my daughter's. I couldn't live with myself, she said, trying not to break down. Celine listened to all of this and leaned back. She didn't want to make any decision about who Naruto can marry. She didn't want to be like that at all. But she could see this power shifts. If she went through with this, she then threw some more sense there could be other pentacle moves involved that Hirashi might want to make him, even though he sounded honest and sense. Let's do this. Have your daughter Hinata come with us in the demonic mission of spot between the Hyuga and the Whirlpool. This would appear your council since they think they have an inside track, Celine said. Hashi nodded. Understand this. I don't want to make any decision on this without Naruto's input. Naruto will be the one being married, and I want him to be happy with who he chooses. Uzumaki's rarely ever use marriage contracts at all, Celine said. Hirashi just nodded again. This wasn't sure thing, but a good step in the right decision. I do it, but I may ask if you have the strength to protect my daughter, the Hyuga clan head said. I do, Celine said. So after working out some details and Dell was set, all Hirashi had to do was to find a way to talk the clan council into this scene break. A couple of days later, Hinata was of the new Whirlpool contract. Naruto didn't know the real reason why Hinata was there, since he was told it was just a demonic mission from the Hyugas. He was chatting with Mika. Rio was talking to Tenten. Inko looked sad that Yofi was leaving and was crying. Kurenai was there since she requested to go with Hinata to New Whirlpool since Hinata was the only getting. Hashi allowed it since he didn't know who to trust the Hyuga clan at the moment. Inko was sobbing as she hugged Yofi goodbye. Kurenai just sighed as she watched her best friend. Celine was talking to Hiruzen and shaking his head. Hideku has stand there waiting to leave along with Itachi and Zabuza. Alright, we should take our leaves, Celine said. They then left. In the road, there was mostly quiet. Hinata didn't know what to say since she wasn't very nervous being around all these new people. Though she knew Tenten since her cousin and Tenten were on the same team, she didn't know Tenten at all well. Besides, Tenten was very busy talking to Rio. Then there was her Joni Sensei Kurenai, but she wasn't sure what to talk about with her at the moment. Hi there, Mika said. Hinata jumped and squealed. Hi, she stuttered. You're quite nervous, Mika's making Hinata bow deeper in her shell. That's something that I need to break you out of. But I love a challenge. My name is Mika. By the way, Hinata Hyuga, Hinata said. The two shook hands. Tell me about yourself, Hinata, Mika said, smiling at the Hyuga hairless. Hinata felt her guard felt easy as she talked to Mika. Kunai saw this and smiled. She was happy that Hinata was making friends. Meanwhile, Naruto was walking with his hands behind his head. He watched Mika befriend Hinata and smiled. He have done it himself, but Mika threw she since should do it since Hinata seems skilled sinners and Mika would be better to put Hinata at ease. Naruto agreed, so he was just watching. He then turned to attention to Ryo and Tenten. He knew the two were talking about weapons. There was just that fervor in the air between them. He shook his head. Hey, Auntie Celine, what's going to happen when we get back? Naruto asked, turning his head back to Celine. Well, I need to make a few arrangements and figure out if I should promote you to tuning, Celine said. You haven't decided yet? Decide that yet? Naruto asked, raising an eyebrow. Celine struggled. Had other things in my mind, she said. They all walked till they made camp. Itachi walked over to Zabuza. You sensed them? He asked. Zabuza nodded. I did about 5 of them. My guess is there are low joining, he said. That's what I think too. Looks like Danzo didn't waste any time, Itachi said. No, so how do you want to do this? Zabuza asked. Yofi, I can take care of it. Stay there and watch for any of them might get by us, Itachi said. Zabuza nodded. Itachi made eye contact to Yofi and then they nodded. Yofi sensed the 5 too. They left without a word. Celine had a feeling that Danzo might pull something like attacking them on the road and kidnap Naruto. So she had given orders to Itachi and Zabuza and Yofi to keep their eyes and other senses open for attack and if they were beginning followed. The rest of the ground group were sitting around relaxing. Hinata was still nervous and uncomfortable with her surroundings. None knew of the solution that was going on around them. Though Celine and Hideku didn't know Kunai didn't. You're going to like New Whirlpool, Mika said. I hope so, Hinata said, trying to smile, but it came out nervously. Scene break. Itachi and Yofi, they're in the trees. They had spotted the root members. Right, remember, we will eliminate them all quickly, Itachi said. Do we have to? Yofi playfully winded. Itachi rolled his eyes behind his mask. Alright, go, he said. Yofi Itachi moved quickly and took out the root members, but 2 involved them and jumped out. This caused Celine to jump up and get into a fighting position. Zabuza and Kunai followed suit. You brats stay back, Hideku. Hideku, watch them, Zabuza said. Hideku just nodded. But we can fight, Naruto argued. Naruto, these guys are stronger than you. Let us take care of them, Celine said firmly. Naruto frowned forward but nodded. The 2 root members rushing in but never got close as Zabuza met with another Kunai and Kunai and the other. Hideku stood in front of his team, ready to defend them. He needed Celine stood in front of them, ready to fight if needed be. Scene break. Damn it, we missed 2. Yofi pounded. Zabuza and the others can't handle them. Let's get back, Itachi said. You go. I want to make sure there ain't any surprises, Yofi said. You sure? Itachi asked. Go! Yofi said. Itachi nodded and left Yofi. Scene break. Zabuza was trying his best to cut his opponents in half, but the root nin was quick. I'm getting tired of this game, Zabuza grunted. Meanwhile, Kunai had a tired temp her opponent in a genjutsu, but they broke out of it. Kunai jumped back before she was killed. She panted and pulled out kunai. These shinobi are very skilled, she said. They should be. They are trained by Danzo after all, Celine said as she jumped in. She grabbed the root nin that was Kunai's opponent by the neck and then hurled them into a necessary tree, setting the tree. Kunai was surprised by this since she thought only Tsunade had that kind of strength. Celine then did some hand signs and then a huge short of water came out, knocking down Rootnin and unconscious. Meanwhile, Zabuza had finished off his opponent, hacking the Rootnin in half. Hinata bashed and splashed at the blood and courage. Naruto's team wasn't as affected. That was easy, Zabuza said as he cleaned his sword. Well, at least I left them alive so we could talk. We can ask them questions, Celine said. Itachi and Yofi came back and Itachi kneeled in front of Celine. My apologies, Lady Celine. I thought Yofi and I had them all, Itachi said. It's alright, Crow. You did your best. Now, let's tie them up, Celine said. You got it, Yofi said as she pulled out some rope and began to tie up the unconscious Rootnin. Kane was shocked at what was going on. Who are these shinobi, she asked. My guess these are some Danzo's lackeys, Celine said. Kune looked surprised. She had heard rumors of Danzo, his own shinobi army, but never thought they were real. She looked at the survivor and saw that they were wearing the Ambu mask, but it was blank. Let's see who's under the mask, Yofi said. She removed the mask and then opened a Rootnin's mouth and saw a seal on their tongue. Huh? A seal? That makes them unable to spill their secrets. It's also a suicide seal too. If he bits down on it, it will necessarily dies. The Kurenai Konoichi said. Anyways, any way to disable it? Celine asked. I think. I have a way to disable it, but I need to do it more research if you want me to remove it, Yofi said. Then do what you need to, Celine said. Yofi nodded and began to the work. Naruto sighed as he smiled. He was back in the new Whirlpool. He looked around trying to see if anything had changed since he had been gone. You know, nothing has really changed since we left, Mika said. I know, but it's just so great being back, Naruto said. I do have to agree with that, Ryo said. Hinata's eyes were wide as she tried to take in everything. Kurenai was doing the same. New Whirlpool was quite an amazing place. Tenten was amazed to see her new home. She couldn't believe the village was a big and very punishment. There were people going about their business and everything looked quite lively. And while Konoha was always a basing place to be, New Whirlpool seemed to be bigger, clearer, and busier than even Konoha could ever be. Come on, I need to get back to office, Celine said. I will show our guests to the hotel, Hideku said. Very well, you're dismissed, Celine said. She then here to lead it to her office with Zabuza and Itachi following her. Hideku and his team lead Kunai and Hinata to the hotel. Yofi dragged the Rooten to interrogation to find some answers. There we are, Hideku said as he showed them the hotel. Kunai and Hinata was checked in. So what should we do now? Naruto said. You will all have a rest day off, Hideku said. They three nodded and Hideku left. I'm going to take Tenten to the Kuzenaiken compound and show her around, and I get her settled too, Rio said. This left Naruto and Mika. Well, what should we do? Naruto asked. Could you show us around? Kunai said. Naruto and Mika turned. They didn't even notice that Hinata and Kunai had arrived back in the lobby after getting settled in their rooms. That sounds great. What do you think, Mika? Naruto asked. Sounds good. Let's go, Mika said. So the four headed off. Scene break. Rio got Tenten to the Kuzenai compound and there was welcomed warmly by everyone. It seems everyone in the place knew of her arrival, which was true since Yofi sent back a message to the clan as soon Tenten said she was going to come back to New Whirlpool. She was hugged and greeted by other clanmates. It was overwhelming for her. She had tears in her eyes. She had a family. Now she knew she had her dad and everything, but to have a family like this, it was like a dream come true. You'll be staying in this room. I hope you like it, Rio said as he showed Tenten her room. Tenten gasped. It was bigger than her room back in Konoha. It's amazing, she said. Wait, till you see our training grounds, Rio said. Tenten couldn't wait. She had decided to head to New Whirlpool first ahead of her dad, who needed to choose up a shop and everything. He be leaving at the same time as the Ichiraku. I forgot. I just remembered they offered Ichiraku to go to the Whirlpool. I just remembered that. Anyways, scene break. And there was once a roundless training ground. Our team likes to use this one, but most since it was one of the biggest, Mika said. So far, the tour around New Whirlpool was impressive. And Kunai couldn't believe how amazing it was. Hinata was the excitement the same. Everyone they had met as friendly to them. They even respectfully and some even bowed to Naruto as he passed them. Naruto would stop and chat with a few since Naruto knew most of the village people. Are you hungry? Naruto asked. Hinata's stomach growled in response and made her cheeks take a ruby red glow. This made Naruto smile. Well, that answers the question. So why are you in the mood for? He asked. Do you have compound buns? Hinata asked meekly. Naruto turned to Mika. Sure. Come on, follow me, Mika said. So they followed Mika and they found a punishment style cafe with a small room and open at pocha with tables. Oh, Mika darling, you came back, a woman said as she came out to welcome the group. Hi, Count, she said. The woman Kanto kissed both of Mika's cheeks, then the same to Naruto's. Come on, come and sit, Kantin said. So the four got a table outside and looked at the menus. Claire and Hinata, there would be like to try some of your cones and rolls, Mika said. Ah, I see. Tono should have a new branch coming out of the Rune soon. In fact, I believe they are just getting icing at the moment. Cleared, said as she tripped her chin in a thought. Hinata dimed silently at flinch blank common rolls. Clanner got the orders from Mika, who ordered the usual. Naruto and Kunai ordered 2, and then Kunai left to perform the items and look into Hinata's compound rolls. Hinata smelled them before they even came into view. Her nose catched the scent of compound and sugar. She licked her lips as a bit of drool tried to escape. Soon she was spying with a plate of counter rolls. Here you are, dear. Tono Tass play as his craft of baking. I'm sure you will find these the best rolls you ever tasted, Kansa said. Hinata somewhat doubled this since they baked Berkeley that she freehand in Konoha had some very good ramen rolls too. They made them fresh and Hinata was a very loyal customer. Hirashi had to put aside a conscious moment of money from the Hyuga coffees to feed Hinata's common roll habit. One time in the elders tried to cut that food off was the first time Hinata got angry. It wasn't a pleasant sight at all with Joniken strikers to the area. No man ever want to be hit ever. That was a warning, and the elders took that warning to heart and never touch a cannon roll forever again unless they hit again and ground in the high-powered Kyuken strikes. That meant all of the elders able to talk or walk normally. There were 3 whole weeks, even their same medical treatment. Hinata took one bit into the compound roll, and it was orange syrup. It was a bit light as it appeared, and it heavily chord began to sing. She was in her area. She have to reveal her promotion, and the Konoha bakery began to the best. These were hundreds of times better than the Konoha bakery. She just knew it. In Konoha, Shashi felt as cold settling down as he felt like the Hyuga accounts would be taking a huge delivery in the near future. Hinata developed all cornrows and play in record time. She shocked Kunai, Naruto, and Mika. Whoa, I didn't think I'd see anyone eat that fast since I saw Yofi demolish and enter a paddle full of shrimp in one setting, Naruto said. Mika just nodded. As for Kunai, she knew of Hinata's weakness for corner rolls, but this was totally new for her. She hoped Hinata wasn't giving herself, the Hyuga clan, and Konoha the bad image with the way she was acting now. Hinata finished the last roll and licked her fingers and planted plate clean. I see you enjoyed them, dear, Kantai said with a smile. Hinata then realized she was with her sensei and 2 other and blushed madly for the way she acted. Don't be embarrassed, dear. Tenmo's bakery at this is that of the gods. I swear he is a child of great baking god. Or something at times, Kurenai said with a smile. Hinata sadly looked at Naruto and Mika. It's alright, Hinata. I act the same way with ramen, Naruto said with a smile. Yes, we all have our vials, Mika said, knowing she kind of acts like Hinata when it comes to her favorite food. Fired dumplings moving in very spicy sauce. Yes, we do, Kurenai said, trying to calm her student some. Hinata just nodded. Oh dear, you like more? Into always makes a big bunch, chatted asked. The Sunin and Hinata's eye told Connor one thing. There were be no more Connor rolls left. Scene break.
Alright, this is where I'm going to end this. So, like and subscribe, and bye bye.